Boris Johnson, who I think was the biggest letdown of a prime minister in my lifetime. And the lesson he taught us was just because you pretend to be Churchill doesn't make you a Churchill, because that's what he did. He pretended he was Churchill. He he was patriotic. He sold us this vision of the future, and it turned out he was just a weak man who had over interest in women, who wanted to climb the greasy pole and feather his own nest, who didn't want to work hard, who had no vision, no dreams for the country, wanted other people to fill in the dots. And he was I know COVID hit him. That's just an excuse. He was what everybody said he was, which was a vacuum. And I am embarrassed that I voted for him because I bought the hype. And he was the biggest letdown in my lifetime.
He was certainly helped by his opponent, though, wasn't he? I mean, Corbyn was never going to get elected in this country, and Boris had a pretty clear run at defeating Corbyn. I mean, your average person could have had a pretty clear run if they had half decent policies compared to Jeremy Corbyn. I don't think that was ever going to work, but there is a certain charm and skill to people like Boris Johnson, isn't there? The way they can communicate with some of the higher echelons of society, if you will, yet down to just normal working class people. They've got a real skill of being able to talk to anybody, command a room, talk to people. Farage has got it, for example. Nigel Farage has got it in bucketfuls. The way he gets millions upon millions of people to follow him, it's an art. It really is an art. And being able to speak the way he does without a teleprompter, without notes and stuff, it really is a skill. But if you look at Starmer, he's the most socially awkward person. Like you just described him quite well, actually, a square. He's an empty suit. There's no personality there. There's no charisma there. And that's why I said, and I think it was a previous episode with you, I said he was never going to inspire people in the way that other prime ministers have to vote for him. And if he'd had a half decent opponent, he wouldn't have won the election, or there would have been maybe a hung parliament or something. But to watch the man even attempting to communicate with members of the general public, it's painful. He really is supposed to be, not ruling over, but leading the people of this country. And he doesn't know the first thing about them. He doesn't know he doesn't know the price of a pint of milk, for example. He doesn't know how much a loaf of bread costs. He's probably never found out in his entire life because, he tries to hide the fact, but he is from privilege. And when he gave that interview, or was it a leadership debate with Rishi Sunak during the election campaign, and he said, we struggled to make ends meet as a family when I was growing up. I'm like, do me a favour. You've never struggled to make ends meet in your life. It's absolute cobblers. It really was.
It is. And the reason why he's grey and an empty suit and a square is because he has no ideas. He hasn't got a vision. And the reason why he's not got a vision is because he's an ideologue. He's already got the plan in place, which is part communism, part Marxism, part the socialist agenda. He's going to implement other people's ideas and philosophies because he hasn't got one himself. And people like that are very dangerous because they will do basically as they're told. That's how Nazi Germany marched into the disaster they marched into, same with the Soviet Union. You have people who are very intelligent. I mean, he's very intelligent. He was a barrister, so I'm sure he's very intelligent. But that doesn't mean you're going to make a good leader. That just means you're going to make a very good middle manager. That's all that means. Implementing what people above tell you to implement and looking at the figures and making sure every T is crossed and every I is dotted. That's the sort of prime minister he is. He's not leading us anywhere. He's leading us into what he hopes will be a socialist utopia.
If only they realised that there's no such thing. There's no such thing as a socialist utopia. He is very much, we've gone from Rishi Sunak to Keir Starmer, and you wouldn't really notice the difference that much, would you? The two of the same people are the two bean counters that have had good careers. I mean, fair enough, Rishi Bed is in the private sector, Keir Starmer's was in the public sector, but they've both had lucrative careers, and they're very good. They'd probably be quite good middle managers. That's exactly what they are. But like you said, they're not leaders. They're not going to inspire people to vote for them a second time. Certainly not. Look at Rishi Sunak. He couldn't even get people to vote for him the first time round. Keir Starmer was exceptionally fortunate in that as well, because the 10 pledges that he made to become Labour leader, he broke every single one of them in no time. That should have been warning enough to the public. But they are just a couple of bean counters. I think that's why Starmer is trying to go along with this devolutionary agenda. We're going to devolve this, devolve that. You know, Lancashire's going to be this, and Greater Manchester's going to have that. Like, what's he trying to do here? Give away all the power, and then nobody can blame him for anything at the end of 5 years or the end of a couple of years. And he'll say, "Oh, well, that was down to Andy Burnham, or that was down to a citizens' assembly in Glasgow." You know, it's lunacy what he's doing. It is, like you said, building to some sort of socialist utopia, but it'll soon come crashing down around him, because that doesn't exist. He's not going to manage that.
It will all come crashing down, and for him it'll be before Christmas, like I said in the last episode. Did you enjoy that video? I think you did. Come on now, hit that bell, subscribe, comment. Let's build this channel. I need more followers, I need more subscribers. Be part of the journey. See you soon.